This is easily one of the most requested sneakers to get the Rose Anvil chop treatment because people want to know, how could you charge $900 for a pair of sneakers? So we're gonna cut these things in half and run through our test to finally settle if there's anything on the inside that points to these being worth anything more than just a regular pair of Adidas or Nikes. How much do I think this would cost if it didn't have the Gucci name? How overpriced are these actually? And are you dumb for buying a pair of $900 Gucci Ace sneakers? Because a lot of people see the price tag and a luxury brand name and assume it's quality, because that's how a lot of these luxury brands built their name several decades ago, including Gucci, because in 1921, inspired by his experience as a porter at the Savoy Hotel in London, Guccio Gucci establishes the Gucci brand as an artisanal luggage brand in Florence, Italy. But then by 1935, Mussolini led an invasion to Ethiopia, which immediately just put a huge crunch on the economy, especially leather imports and leather goods. So Gucci was forced to introduce new materials like canvas, which led to the creation of the diamante fabric and became the emblem for Gucci. Then in 1937, Gucci launches its handbag collection. And then just a couple years later, World War II was in full swing and Gucci made some boots for the Italian infantry. But during the post-World War II Dolce Vita time, when Gucci was really starting to flourish, Guccio Gucci divided the shares of the company to his three sons and launched the first global tagline and one of the most iconic taglines for Gucci, which is "Quality's remembered long after the price is forgotten." But in 1953, Guccio Gucci died in Milan. And this seems to be a tipping point for Gucci in good ways and bad ways, because that same year they opened their first store in New York City, and the Gucci spread its influence and notoriety across the international clientele of jet setters, Hollywood stars, dignitaries, socialites. Then through the 60s and 70s, Gucci continued to rapidly grow, opening 10 stores in the US, Tokyo, Hong Kong, the Middle East, and many more. Then if you look at the 80s, it's a whole other thing. There's nothing but family drama, there's movies about it. We're just gonna save that for a future Gucci video because we don't have half an hour to go over it. But due to all the family drama and struggles, by the 90s, Gucci was really struggling. And Maurizio, one of the sons, sold his remaining 50% stake in Gucci to Investcorp, ending all the Gucci family involvement in the Gucci brand. And around that same time, Tom Ford was hired to revitalize the brand, and they had a, I don't even know if I can say that, porno chic revival. Then in 1995, Maurizio was shot dead in the lobby of Florence Gucci office by his wife. So 16 years in prison for hiring a hitman to kill him. And that's a whole other version of the Gucci drama. Then in 1999, competing Louis Vuitton had gained majority shares of the brand, and Tom Ford sold 40% of his Gucci shares to the umbrella corporation of Kering. Then through the 2000s, the 2010s, and up to now, they've been up and down. They've really established themselves as a mainstream brand, a household name. It seems like Gucci's been on this downward spiral of quality, but an upward spiral in popularity, influence, and price. But is that all just speculation? Is there any evidence to point to that this is still a quality product, that it represents the Gucci that was founded by Guccio Gucci? And thanks to Blade HQ for sponsoring this video. It's a website that's just completely full of all the best knives, the best knife brands, and a huge selection. You've probably seen us talk about it on the Rose Anvil 2 channel because they sent us a bunch of knives to do all of our unboxing with. I also was on their YouTube channel recently, so go watch that video. We chose 5 of the best knives and 5 of the best boots and paired them up. But the coolest knife that I've even gotten in this shop through all the various brands and other knives that Blade HQ has sent is the Kershaw Livewire Ultim. And this is an exclusive to Blade HQ. You can only get it from Blade HQ. Just watch this. This, I didn't know this was even legal until I got it and I nearly cut my hand open because I didn't know I was gonna rock it out. It's so cool because you can see all the little details on the inside, how the springs attach, and as you're pulling it up, you can watch all those little mechanisms pop out. And the blade itself is a CRM Magna Cut blade. The blade is a black washed spear point, but the benefits of that is its superior edge retention, its toughness, and its corrosion resistance. I'm also trying not to flick this out every 5 seconds because if this is in my hand, I sit there and do this. And one of the best things, it's made right here in the United States, and in their words, it symbolizes American craftsmanship and ingenuity. It's the perfect piece for those who want to showcase their USA pride. So if you want literally the coolest knife that we've ever received, grab your Kershaw Livewire, exclusively available at Blade HQ using the links below, and check out the Blade HQ YouTube channel I hopped on and all the Rose Anvil 2s that we did with the unboxing of these. So thanks again to Blade HQ, check them out below. Well, what is this shoe? Well, the brand is Gucci. The style is the Ace sneaker with web. They weigh 1 pound, 2 ounces. They retail for $890 before shipping, before taxes, before anything else. So well over $900 when it actually arrives to you. And the way they position the Gucci Ace is inspired by summer spirit and beach clubs on Italian coast. Since its debut, the Ace sneaker has become a mainstay in the house's narrative. A new version of the characteristic low top silhouette is presented in the latest collection, featuring unique details. A chunkier construction defines the shape, while the metal Ace tag shines atop the lace-up closure. Gucci's distinctive green and red web stripe completes the style. And if you want a pair of these, check them out via the links in my description. So now let's start looking at the materials and see if we can figure out the quality and how much it's worth, because now that we've cut apart over $100,000 worth of footwear, like 400 or 500 different boots and shoes, we've got a full spectrum from anything from a $5 Amazon shoe up to a $900 whole cut Cordovan English made sneaker. So first, how good is this leather? Well, right off the bat, it's just really thin. It's only 0.9 millimeters thick. It's a white chrome tanned leather, and white leather is just tough to do regardless, because leather is really, really tough to get that really pristine, bright white color just by itself. You almost have to put the pigment over top, and that's really where the quality difference in white leather comes. Because if it's a really cheap top coat, it'll immediately separate from the leather and you get that bubbling effect. A higher quality white leather, it's really well bonded, it's really thin, so it doesn't need to separate as much, and it flexes and bends with the leather so you don't get that separation. So how's the top coat look on this? Well, it's a very soft and supple leather. It's definitely better than the Golden Goose leather we saw. It's better than some of the Nike and especially the New Balance cheap white leather we've seen. But because it's so soft, when you bend the leather, it wrinkles immediately. And once that top coat separates from that leather underneath, you're just left with those bubbles and those wrinkles that will never go away. And you can see even in the little bit of that we actually wore it, just in the B-roll, it's already separating, it's already getting those hairline wrinkles throughout because that top coat is already separated, which leads me to believe that it's a fairly cheap leather, because a higher quality leather would not look like that right off the bat, and you wouldn't be able to see that bubble formed by that separation. But to double check to see if it's plastic, what it is on top, we hit it with the lighter, and it did shrivel slightly, so I think there is a little bit of like rubber or some sort of synthetic material in there, but it mostly just looks like a pigment. So then how does this white leather compare to other leathers? Well, it's just very average. You know, there's regular sneakers like the Adidas Samba. It is almost the exact same leather. Similar feels, similar wrinkling, similar thickness, and this shoe is like 90 bucks. So really not absolutely terrible, but we've seen significantly better leathers and shoes around that $200 to $300 price range where you actually start to see the premium Italian made sneakers. But there's one piece of leather that might help this explain why it's so expensive. It's this green little tab right here that looks like alligator or crocodile, or they all kind of look the same. So is it actually a high quality exotic leather? It is not. It's literally just cheap leather with an embossed print on top and dyed green, which is not crazy. You know, anytime you see gator on a sneaker, you're gonna assume it's fake. But this is a $900 sneaker. It's a premium brand, and if you're gonna charge $900 for a sneaker, your margins are so high that you can literally pack this full of premium materials, including the gator skin. There's not even much to it. It's just a little teeny piece. But what about the lining? Is there some redeeming qualities on the inside? Because it is a true leather lining, where these two have a fake leather lining. Obviously $900 versus $90. But is the leather on the lining at least decent? Is it redeeming this shoe in any way? Not really. It's pretty terrible leather again. It's like 0.8 millimeters thick, and it just immediately looks like granny skin. And the top coat it reminds me of another luxury brand, Lucchese cowboy boots. It's luxury for like cowboy boots. And it was shocking how terrible that lining leather is, and that's what this reminds me of. The problem with that is it's such a weak and thin leather without a lot of structure that it can rip and split, even in the lasting and the manufacturing process. And so it is leather, which is good. I'll take leather, but for a $900 sneaker, is this $900 quality lining? No. I would be really surprised to see this quality of lining in any shoe over $200. But what about the insoles? There's at least something good about the insole aside from just giving you a short king lift like the Golden Gooses? Not really. You know, it's just a leather top closed cell foam insole. It's just single density. It's a decent insole. But underneath is where this starts to get interesting to me, because I assume for $900 it was built somewhat premium, because you can see a Strobel stitch in there. You can see that the cup sole is sidewall stitched on, which is bare minimum what you'd want for a super high quality sneaker. But what's concerning is this lasting material underneath here. You can see it's got the Gucci logo on it, but it's like the exact same material that you get in like Adidas and Nike, just with the Gucci logo and print screen printed over top. A little side tangent to plug an upcoming collaboration, because it is a common thing with these Strobel stitch shoes, even the highest quality ones, they don't really ever have anything premium underneath the insole. And no one, as far as I've ever seen, has put leather in the insole. So a little sneak peek of the Koyo collaboration, we're doing a Strobel stitch sneaker with the highest quality white leather we could find, from the outer, the lining, and a leather Strobel board, which I've never seen anyone do. So side shameless plug over. Yeah, it's just crazy to me that a $900 sneaker has like a Nike lasting material in it. But even more concerning is you can now feel underneath of that, the midsole, there's nothing to it except for literally the exact same structure as like a Samba's, where it's just a structured outsole. And a lot of times you see built up compressed cardboard or leather, preferably at the heel, so you don't sink in to those columns, giving you high spots and low spots. So now let's cut them in half and see if there's any redeeming qualities on the inside of the shoe. Maybe there's something in there. So let's cut them in half. This is your last chance to get a pair of the Indy 4s, because anytime we do a collaboration, there's always some cancellations. So we open up the cancellation slot. There's not very many though. So if you want a pair of these, be sure you get on this as soon as possible. This is the last chance you're gonna get at the Indy 4, because the Indy 5 will be a completely different design. So check them out below. Okay, we got the $900 Gucci Aces cut in half. Just another reminder, just push that little subscribe button. It's free. YouTube never shows you what you're subscribed to. It's just a terrible algorithm now anyway. So let's see what's inside. So exactly like we expected, just a typical rubber outsole, 65 Shore, pretty poor bar drop score with 4 inches. The puncture test only took 67 pounds, and it is exactly like we expected. It's just like a Stan Smith or any just random affordable shoe outsole. There's no filling material. This lasting material for sure is the exact same stuff that you see in most sneakers. The counter's nothing special. The toe stiffener's nothing. For $900, you get a thinner outsole than the Sambas. You get some fake alligator skin. You do get a leather lining, but you know, we see that in plenty of $200 and under sneakers, and it's a pretty terrible lining leather. And it's still better than both of these sneakers, but it's a lot closer to these sneakers than the actual $900 sneakers we've cut apart. So how much do I think this would cost, this Gucci Ace, if it didn't have the Gucci name in it? For me, 120 to 150 max, and I feel like that's fairly generous. You could stretch it to maybe 200, but that's the absolute max. And I understand that luxury isn't about quality. It's about the look, the name, the exclusivity caused by the price. So to me, when brands like Gucci put their brand on that luxury pedestal and slap a luxury price on it, you better deliver more than Adidas quality. And that's when it starts to feel a lot more like a scam to me than anything else. And that's why we cut this stuff in half, so you can actually see what you're getting for $900 luxury sneakers. And are you dumb for buying a pair of $900 sneakers? To me, you are. It's just a walking symbol of how out of touch you are with the reality that most of us live in. But maybe it's just Gucci. Maybe some of the other luxury brands still maintain their core value and ethics that were established by the founder. So let me know which other luxury brands you want us to cut apart. And just do me a favor, push that subscribe button, because these are literally 9-10 times the price of regular sneakers that we do for this channel. And also check out our handmade leather goods we make here in the shop that gave me the expertise and knowledge to be able to judge these boots and shoes. And I'll put links to the Golden Goose video below so you can check out another luxury brand. So thank you guys. See ya. Gucci, don't sue me. Don't murder me. Don't hire a hitman, please. Or do it.